Welcome to another video as part of the Pavilion video series, MySQL Performance Testing Results. I am Kostas Apopoulos, the Chief Field Technology Officer and Worldwide Vice President of Business Development for Pavilion Data. In this video, we'll be comparing a MySQL environment running on a server with internal NVMe drives. Then compare that exact same server leveraging storage on Pavilion using NVMe-over-Fabrics. We will demonstrate that in a bare metal environment as well as in a virtualized environment leveraging VMware. In all the tests, we'll be running Sysbench to performance test MySQL, and we'll be delivering the queries per second and the transactions per second and the latency required to deliver that. MySQL running with Pavilion delivers 2 times the queries per second, 7 times the transactions per second at less than 50% the latency. That same environment running inside of VMware with Pavilion delivers 1.8 the queries per second, 6 times the transactions per second at less than 60% latency. All of this compared to MySQL running on an individual server with the disk physically inside the server. Whether that environment running on Pavilion is a bare metal MySQL server connected with NVMe-over-Fabric, or whether that server is virtualized using VMware leveraging NVMe-over-Fabric, MySQL delivers more with Pavilion. In our testing environment, we compared a MySQL server running with drives physically internal to the server, and then leveraging that exact same server connecting to Pavilion, leveraging NVMe-over-Fabric in many forms. All of this running MySQL with the tool Sysbench. As we look through these charts, Sysbench delivers a set of metrics: transactions per second, queries per second, and overall average latency, each one of the tables. For each one of the tables, we've tested multiple thread counts, 8, 16, 24, the far left column of each table. We tested 100% read, the first set of columns, 100% write, the second set of columns, and the mixed workload delivered by Sysbench. The scenarios for each one is comparing to the same test, same thread count, with the server with the disk physically inside of it, running NVMe-over-Fabric TCP for 100% read, compared to running NVMe-over-Fabric ROcE, compared to running MySQL inside of VMware. First set of 3 columns is read for that. Second 3 set is write. The next 3 sets are mixed. As we look at each one of the performance characteristics, you can see transactions per second on the mixed workload, queries per second on the mixed workload, as well as average latency on the mixed workload, highlighted by green as it relates to running on a bare metal server with NVMe-over-Fabric ROcE, as well as VMware running MySQL, leveraging NVMe-over-Fabric ROcE, both compared to an individual server running MySQL with the disk inside of it. You can see that from a ROcE perspective with Pavilion, we delivered over 220% the transactions per second, 732% the queries per second, at 46% the latency. Equally impressive performance in a virtualized environment inside of VMware. We delivered 176% the transaction per second, 585% the queries per second, and 57% the latency. All of these in every scenario was comparing Pavilion to that same server with the drives internal to the system. So all tests are relative and fair, leveraging the exact same hardware, but just different configurations. All tests were using the Sysbench tool. All scenarios leverage the same data protection strategy. To summarize the testing environment as well as the scenarios we tested, on the left, this is our tested configuration: a server with running CentOS Linux connected to Pavilion, leveraging NVMe-over-Fabric ROcE, TCP, as well as running this in a VMware environment. All tests leverage the exact same physical server. The scenarios were scenario 1 was running that server with drives physically inside the server. The second test was that same server leveraging NVMe-over-Fabric TCP to Pavilion. Third, NVMe-over-Fabric ROcE to Pavilion. And fourth, leveraging VMware and having MySQL running inside of VMware, which is leveraging NVMe-over-Fabric ROcE. All scenarios leverage the same data protection methodology, RAID 6, and all servers, all tests use the exact same servers and OSs. And the whole tests were to show relative performance of MySQL running with a server with a disk inside relative to NVMe-over-Fabric type configurations, physical or virtual. Thank you for watching this video as part of the Pavilion video series. If you want to learn more about this topic or others, check out our other videos at www.pavilion.io. You can also reach out to us via email at info@pavilion.io, or you can always call us on the phone. We'd love to talk to you about how Pavilion can help you solve some of your most challenging storage-related problems and help you deliver incredible business outcomes to your customers. Thank you.